I'm at the Boyle Heights Technology Youth and we're going to say Workforce Center located right here on 4th and Glass in the heart of Boyle Heights and not too far from where our guests are coming from tonight. We're speaking about high school football 2019, and what a better way to start it than to speak with the Roosevelt High School football team and the hierarchy. We mean the head coach, Aldo Parada. He'll be with us here for an interview, and we're going to introduce you to 5 of his players that he's selected to be here on the interview on East LA Sports Scene as we come back with another big attempt to bring you content from our studio, because we are able to bring in schools, individuals, athletes, people that are really helping our students here in Boyle Heights to really stay in school, get that education, and continue on with their lives. So we're just about ready to go here with the interview, and don't go away because we're now going to pan out and pan in where we can meet and greet head coach Aldo Parada.
Rico, thank you for having us, and thank you for having me. I really appreciate everything you do as far as covering the community and the people in it.
Well, Coach, it's been a lifelong dream that's been fulfilled and true for me, thanks to the good Lord above, who's put me in a place to be able to do this very, very willingly, and of course, just for the good of the community. And sports is a big part.
Sure is.
And that's where you come in, Coach, and we want to welcome you here and thank you for bringing your players. We're going to meet them, and if you want to just give their names so some of the viewers now can stand by and be ready.
Sure. We have Alfredo Sapulpa, one of our main captains. We have Alek Rojas. We have Frankie Cruz. We got Andres Flores and Mark Carrillo. Those are the 5 young men that are going to be here and speaking to you.
And they are leaders at present and will continue to be leaders as they grow in age and, of course, in experience. But, Coach, let's start with you, and you are no stranger to where we are now in Boyle Heights.
That's correct.
Talk about the beginnings, Coach. Where did it start for you and your passion and love for the game of football?
Well, I've been lucky. I grew up in Boyle Heights, obviously. I grew up off of Brooklyn and Fickett, and I'm a Boys Club product. When I say Boys Club, Variety Boys and Girls Club on Cincinnati Street, and grew up, went to Sheridan, Hollenbeck, came to Roosevelt. My first Garfield Roosevelt game classic was watching my buddy Peter Cuevas catch a touchdown pass and beat the Bulldogs when I was in the 8th grade.
My goodness.
And everybody was a Roosevelt guy, and of course it was obvious that I went to Roosevelt. And you know, I was fortunate to play. I always tell the kids I wasn't the best player, but I was on the team, and I learned a lot of important skills because of that.
And here you are now at the helm, so to speak, for your second year at Roosevelt, and what a tremendous 2018 we had. Coach, we're going to dive back into football because of the time constraints. We could be here for 2 hours, but we got to make sure we cover all the bases.
Sure.
And we're going to come back to your personal backgrounds as we go through the interview.
Okay.
But, Coach, let's talk about 2018. My goodness, overall record, 9-5. And Eastern League 3-3, and good enough to be in the playoffs.
Yes.
Talk about from the start of last season. It was a little bumpy at times, but you held everything together. And let's kind of review that, Coach, before we go into 2019.
Sure. You know, coming aboard, I wasn't supposed to be the head coach. It was someone else, but at the last minute, the individual that was supposed to be the person, you know, opted not to do it. The school was in a bind, and the reason being was that everyone in the Eastern League, except for Coach Hernandez over at Garfield, everyone was new. And so it was kind of late in the game, and the principal approached me, and I said yes. But it was hard, basically, because the kids, it was a sudden transition, and I had to somehow, some way, get a staff together and kind of get the kids to be on our side and believe in a program.
That's a powerful word, believe. And, of course, it took time. But as we look back on the season, let's go for the first non-league and then into the Eastern League. We know what the league record was, but talk about a few of the games, big games and non-conferences that you won.
Well, we were fortunate enough to start off against Gardena. Gardena had a lot of talent. Team-wise, you know, they struggled a bit with as far as organization and just being able to put a good product out there, but talent. There was a lot of talent on that team, a lot of speed. And we were pretty fortunate to get by that game. Then we moved on to North Hollywood. North Hollywood, again, another good ball club. You know, they Talent-wise, maybe not as good as Gardena, but very well coached, very well prepared team. Again, we were fortunate to get by them. And then the big game was against the Franklin Panthers.
Yes.
And that was a shootout. We just made one too many mistakes. And, we weren't able to close the gap at the end. Franklin got us. And then we went to Inglewood. And that was a really good test for us. And I say that because they had speed. They had talent. They were just a really, really good ball club. And I think that was a defining point for us because we wound up coming back and scoring on the last drive and winning the game.
Yes.
And so that, I think, said volumes about our kids because they did not quit. And they could have.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Yeah.
And we were fortunate enough to pull out a win. And that was pretty much the preseason.
Okay. We know the Eastern League, well, the crowning game, of course, is the Classic, and I'll give you a moment to speak about that, and then we're going to move on into the playoffs. But Coach's word on the Classic is very, very important, not only to the players, but to the school and to the community. And your thoughts on the Classic?
Well,
Your first Classic as head coach?
As a head coach, yeah. It's funny because I told the kids, the Classic is important, but at the end of the day, our goal is to get to the city championship game. Yes. Bottom line. I understand the importance of the game. It's huge. I mean, we all know it's huge. But the kids have to understand that, there's more to it than just the Classic. But with all that being said, we went into the game and we just we failed. I mean, we fell apart. I don't know if it was pressure. I don't know if it was Garfield had a great squad, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
We
Ranked,
found out
yes, of course.
afterwards, right?
Yes, they were.
But, I'll give credit to Coach Hernandez and his staff. They were very well prepared. They came out and did a really good job of stopping us. And we didn't help ourselves because we stopped ourselves too. Yeah. But, I mean, it was awesome to be part of it as the head coach. But it was sad. At the end of the day, it's sad because you weren't able to fulfill. We were not able to fulfill what we wanted, which was a victory over the
But
Bulldogs.
as you mentioned, there was still more to be done after that, because then the playoff schedule came out, and lo and behold, Verdugo Hills first out of the gate.
Well,
big win.
Yeah, it was huge. It was huge. I was coached by Coach Endow, David Endow, and one of the things that I learned from him was not to run up the score. Unfortunately, there was an incident in our passing leagues. We were in a tournament. Some bad stuff happened at that tournament between Verdugo and our team.
Oh, okay.
And so I remembered that, and that's the only reason why we put up as many points as we did.
Okay.
It was something I don't do. I just don't do. We had ample opportunities throughout the season. Didn't do it, and that was Verdugo. But, yeah, we were very fortunate to get out of that game. It was a shootout, but we wound up on top.
A lot of points put up. Then Wilson, and then another Valley team, and then the big one. Can we move right there to the final, Coach? Because that was huge.
Yeah.
To be there at the final of the division, yes, LA City section. Let's just talk about that.
It was a great game
Locke
against
High
Locke High School. Interestingly enough, the coach at Locke, he actually had applied for the job at Roosevelt.
Oh, okay.
And unfortunately, the committee didn't select him. But obviously, we missed out on him. He could have been the next head coach at Roosevelt High School.
Okay.
But he went back to his alma mater and coached at Locke, and it was a great game. The kids played well. And there was a controversial call towards the end. We thought our quarterback got in. Referee didn't agree with us. But either way, it was a great matchup. The kids just put their hearts out there. Santos, left the game. A kid from last year, he left the game in the second quarter. We just it was a beautiful moment. Unfortunately, it didn't end the way we wanted it to, but to be able to be there,
yes.
I believe is an accomplishment in itself.
Absolutely, and of course it was covered on the National Federation of High Schools. It was the game of the week, and we were able to also cover some of the games this past season, and we're looking forward to doing more for this coming season. It's been very, very exciting, and that's one of the concepts that I had for the program, Coach, to bring in the schools ahead of time. This is the first time I've really done a preview.
Cool.
To talk to the teams ahead of time rather than pick them up during the season. And quickly then, Coach, we're going to ask this question, then we'll go to our break.
Sure.
But the prospects, the thoughts, and just the vision for 2019 for this year's group of Rough Riders.
Well, we're excited, Rico. We really are. We got a great group of kids coming back. I think there's a few points I wanted to make. The first one is that this group of kids, unlike last year's kids, they know the system. They understand what double wing is based on the principles of Don Markham. Yes. They get it. So I think this year it's funny because we've run our practices all summer during spring, and the kids understand what we're trying to do. The coaching staff has said, "Oh my God, man, it's like so easy," and it's just incredible in that sense, you know.
Good.
But overall, I think we got a bunch of returners coming back. We're piecing the line together, but we got some good kids that got some experience last season. But those two things are really important. I think the kids understanding the offense, the kids knowing the staff and feeling comfortable with the directives that we're giving them and the coaching. I think all of those components, I think that we're going to have a pretty good season this season.
And of course, the players now, student athletes, to be correct as to what they do in life now. They're students, they're players, but they're going to be young men going out, and they're all focused on this mission because, look, comparing it to last year, they've got a lot to focus on.
Oh, they sure do.
Because it's going to be another, we'll call it it could be a roller coaster ride, or it could be smooth sailing all the way. But nonetheless, you will have them prepared. Come the first week of the season will be
August 23rd, is it? 23rd. August 23rd, yeah.
Okay,
August
and you'll
23rd.
open up with?
We open up with actually Canoga Park, the team that we took on in the semifinals.
Yes.
So we're excited about that game.
Okay. We have been speaking, and we will not let him go. He'll be a big part of our program as we continue on. But we've been speaking with head coach Aldo Parada here from Roosevelt High School, and giving us the background of 2018 and the forecast for 2019. We're going to take a quick break and come right back with more of a Roosevelt Rough Rider football 2019. This is East LA Sports Scene. And we're back. Here we are now with our first player that's going to be interviewed, Andres Flores. And wow, what a season he had last year. Wearing number 5, he was the QB, the quarterback who led the offense all the time they were out there on the field. And in addition, also played cornerback. But we're going to feature tonight, Andres, your thoughts, just reflecting on your season last year in 2018 and how you can compare that to what you will be doing for 2019. I'll let you give a recap of last year.
So I think last year we had a great season, especially having a transition from a coaching staff to a new one. Coach Aldo coming in. It was at first it was hard to adjust, but we all we came together. It came together nice, and by going throughout the season, everything just like week by week we improved, and we just had to gel and fix the things that were missing. But by the end of the season, everything kind of came together, and we found our rhythm.
And from what we viewed up there in the press box calling the games, it was offense was very, very, as they say, the double wing, run orientated, and you had to know most of the time that the defense was reading most of the calls that were going to be made, or they were sending in traps or they were sending in decoys, but you had to be aware of everything that was going on the field. Your thoughts on maintaining that for the whole season, how you stayed focused?
The way I stay focused was I just tried motivating like my team in the offense. Whether it was to keep pushing harder, the way we're lining up, just like anything like that, just anything to get my mind off that and just to focus on our assignments, like just so I wouldn't, mess up. But I noticed the defense would catch on to what we had going on on our game plan. But we would just keep pounding them, and it would turn out.
Let me ask Coach Parada a question on your leadership and the way you kept the team, because we know there were injuries along the way. And at certain times you may not have been 100%, but you still stuck in there. You did what you had to do. But, Coach, the level of confidence you have in Andres and his maturity now to lead 2019.
Well, it's amazing because I have utmost confidence in Andres. I mean, he's a great kid. I think it was more, did he have confidence in us? Because it was it's a different system, like Andres mentioned. You know, we're run oriented. We don't pass very much, but when we do, it's effective. But Andres is just a great leader. Kids respect him, and I've seen him mature even more over the off season and right now. I mean, you know, I know kids when Andres tells kids, you know, do A or B, whatever it is. Like just a few moments ago, we were on the practice field, and Andres was coaching our fullback to do a certain thing. So I appreciate his maturity, his responsibility, and his leadership, and we're very fortunate to have him for this season.
Okay. And Andres, you have one of the hardest jobs in the world of sports at quarterback. Things you did in the off season to either physically, mentally. I know there were some drills you had to do, camps maybe. Talk about what you did to prepare for 2019.
So as soon as the season ended, I think overall, just as a team, we all knew what, like, we had new goals in store for the next season. So right away, you know, we had to start lifting after school. So we had a weight room. We'd do certain drills outside, whether it's offense, defense. We'd even, you know, throw the ball around, even just for fun. So, but we were ready for the next season. Like, we had gotten ready for the next season as soon as the other one was over. For me, I went to a couple camps. So I just got back from my camp at UCLA. It was for 4 days.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. Stayed there overnight and everything.
Okay. Good.
And previously in June, I went to a camp up in Berkeley at Cal.
Oh, okay.
And that one was a good experience as well. And a couple of my teammates went with me for that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Busy. And I know your dad, you're going to speak about him, but I know your dad always has you on the grindstone, making sure you're getting that extra work in.
Yeah.
Now, let's go to your profile here, Andres. Let's talk about, you know, you're a senior, okay? Favorite class in school?
A subject I really like is history. I think it just really interests me, whether it's sports history, English history, you know, just anything.
Okay. Biggest highlight of your playing career thus far?
So one of my favorite moments from last season is playing the championship game. Just the energy and the way the crowd was there and the amount of people that showed up to watch us play. I think it was just great. And also just being able to help my team out by throwing a couple of touchdowns in that game really gave me confidence.
Academic or athletic awards?
So this last season I received the Outstanding Cornerback award.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Educational and career goals. I put those kind of together because one bleeds or carries right over to the next.
Yeah, so I plan on going to college. When I get to college, I plan on majoring in communications or business. I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
But I would like to be a sports agent for professional athletes.
Okay, so agents, some law, maybe a pre-law school background
Contracts,
might help on
stuff like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. And just mention your dad, but persons who have had the biggest impact on your life.
Yeah, so definitely my dad has had the biggest impact on my life. He's also the reason that I came to Roosevelt. That's his alma mater. He's just the hardest working man I know, and I wish I could be half the man he is. So.
Well, you will have time, of course, to achieve that, and hopefully maybe even pass your dad in your life. Now, let's talk about some of the favorite things you like: football teams, college or pro.
So for college football, I like Berkeley.
Okay.
Just since I was a little kid, it's just always been around. So
I'm feeling a hint towards the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pac-12.
All right. And of course, the pro team.
Yeah. I like the LA Rams. So I never really had a team growing up, but. When Jared Goff got drafted to the Rams and the Rams transitioned from St. Louis to LA, that's when I started picking them up again, and then also just because they helped out a lot last year, so it made me like them even more.
All right. Favorite players, college or pro?
So 2 quarterbacks, they're both from Oklahoma, Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
I like their style of play, and I like their attitude. So.
Okay. Music now, when you're relaxing and you're not on the field or just enjoying yourself socially, going to a party maybe with friends, kind of music you?
Yeah, so on paper I put hip-hop, rap, but honestly I listen to like pretty much everything. Like I have a broad listen.
Good. Okay. And favorite music artists or movie actors?
So I like for pregame music I might listen to like Drake or like Nipsey Hussle. Stuff like that.
Sure. Okay, that will just about do it for our interview, our one-on-one interview with Andres Flores. And Andres, I'll give you opportunity to look into that camera. And you don't see the audience, but they're there. As you know, they're there. And to give you a chance to speak to them about your goals for 2019 as quarterback of the Roosevelt Rough Riders.
I'm just excited for this season, and I I hope all you guys are here to support. Actually, whether you're with us or against us, we're gonna get what we need to get done. So, stay tuned.
Okay. All right. That's going to end our segment here with our player number one. We're going to take a quick break and change the chairs and the stage here, and we're going to come back on our set with player number two. This is East LA Sports Scene. And here we are now rolling with our second player, our second Rough Rider up here in the chairs so we can meet and greet him, and you can begin to learn a little bit more up close and personal about our guests. We've already spoken with head coach Aldo Parada, and he will be interweaving here as we conduct the interviews here with the players. But player number two, Frankie Cruz, and I was a little taken by the number 2. I said it was 6th last year.
Time for a change.
Okay, but Frankie, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good to see you.
Ready to play.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
I know you are getting ready for another challenge, another season as a Roosevelt Rough Rider, and it will be your final season as a senior.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Let's talk about how Frankie is ready to approach 2019.
I mean, I've been training. I've been doing what I need to do. Our team's out here, at practice on time. Everybody's coming. Everyone's putting in effort. We really there's a difference between this year and last year. Is that this year, we're really more of a family, like we're a family even like last year, but now we're even more closer. Like it's crazy how like I could just be like, everyone just listen, everyone just gets along, It's a good experience.
It's a big family, and you could feel that by watching the team because everyone goes to pick up a player who might be having an issue on the field, or you go to the bench and talk to them and try to work things out and get the team back in gear. But Frank, you were a big how would we call it, an asset to the team with your running skills. Talk about a little bit where you learned the game. Who taught you? Was it in family or was it going through Pop Warner?
I never got to play Pop Warner, so it's really just off of high school. It was just more like. It was more me just a natural. Like I didn't really have a coach, but who really made me coach and like learn how to like run with everything I do. Like run actually good. It would be Coach Aldo.
Okay.
I had to adapt to a new running style, and then from there he taught me how to do things here and there. So
well, and the system truly was made for and built for a running back like Frankie, who we saw many times hit that line and skip through it. The defenders are going one way because of the great ball movement and the state of hand from Andres to you, and of course to your teammates. But game breaker, big difference in your skills as a player now coming back because you did so much last year.
I mean, I'm all right, but I gotta say my team, they really the people that put in the work. Our O-line gets hit every single play. I want to get hit. I say, like. 3 times the whole game. I'm out here.
Okay.
But it's really my O-line putting all this work for us. They really deserve all the glory.
Okay, let's pass the microphone over to your head coach, Coach Parada. And you have a talent, as they would say, Coach, who is possibly still in his potential. Big things expected from Frankie this year.
Definitely. Frankie, we're happy that he's coming back as a senior. As a matter of fact, the whole backfield's coming back, minus Santos. But
okay.
Frankie's got an incredible potential. He's a great kid. I've seen him mature over the past year. His attitude's a lot better. He's more focused. He's always been a good player on the field, but I believe that he's going to be a better all-around player. Okay. Because of the fact that he's willing to do the little things, not just on the field but off the field, and we're expecting him not just to play and have a great season this year, but I believe that he can definitely play at the next level, and from there it's up to him and how serious he continues to pursue it. And
one other point here, Coach, I think it's applicable to all your players that we're going to be speaking to tonight, but the other half of the coin is in the classroom, the grades. Yeah. Extremely important. Talk a little bit about, Coach, if I ask you to speak about the whole program, how the players must meet those standards.
Definitely. There's, obviously the kids have to have a 2.0 GPA, and we have checks on the kids to, make sure they have their grades up. We're also, provide this year, for example, we're going to expand our study hall and make sure that, we don't want to get bit at the end with kids not being eligible. Last year we were pretty fortunate. I think we lost maybe one kid going into the postseason. But this year, and that was still one too many.
Yeah.
And this year, the kids, like I said, Frankie, for example, has done a great job of keeping his grades up. Last year, he struggled a little bit to be eligible. This year, no problem whatsoever. He made it, and I'm really excited, and hopefully he continues to do well off the field as well, because they are student athletes.
Yes,
They're not just
course.
athletes.
Okay. Back to Frankie there. Okay, Frankie, we're going to go into your profile here in a moment, but some of the teams you ran against and played against last year, in the schedule, might there be a couple you're going to play against again? Have you seen the schedule thus far? I think Inglewood,
and Olive League.
And Wilson.
Again.
We have
Yes,
Wilson.
Oh, yeah, Wilson.
Wilson. Yes. So knowing that they know you, anything that might be in the works, so if we can, not giving away any secrets, but possibly anything that might be a little different for you.
No, this is a new me, so I'm gonna be different.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna be out there though, like always.
100% Frankie. Okay, Frankie Cruz. Okay, let's go into your personal profile, Frankie. And as we mentioned, you're a senior. You played not only running back, but a linebacker and safety. Favorite class or subject?
My favorite class would be English.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's pretty easy. I'm a genius, so everything.
All right.
I'll be writing paragraphs.
Okay, wonderful. Biggest highlight of your playing career so far?
I'll say it's being a part of the journey towards the championship. It was a great experience, and just watching my team grow into a championship team.
Right, wonderful.
Yeah.
Academic or athletic awards received?
Athletic, I received All-City running back.
Okay. Educational career goals?
My educational career goal is to attend college and at USC, and from there find out,
Okay.
what's planned for me.
Okay. And might you, if you have a really, really a great season, possibly partial scholarship or scholarship, maybe somebody from SC might come. And,
Hopefully.
okay. Nice. Possibly. Okay. And the persons who've had the biggest impact?
I gotta say my mom.
Okay.
My mom, she really motivates me and provides that comfort that I need, that keeps me going throughout the day and being dedicated to my goals.
Okay. Now, your favorite areas of football teams that you listed?
My favorite team got to be the Cowboys.
Okay.
That's been growing up. I've just been going for them.
Okay. Favorite player?
Shaquan Barkley. That's my idol right there.
New York Giants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bad.
All right. Favorite movie?
The Notebook.
Okay.
You gotta get snug enough to next to your girl. You gotta watch that Notebook.
Okay. And your best favorite music?
My favorite music gotta be just rap. Hip hop.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. And your favorite artists or movie actors?
Jay the Youngin. He goes hard.
Okay.
A rapper right there.
All right. Moments come for you, Frankie, to look into the camera and give your report on how you're going to do in 2019.
Well, we coming for it all. Roosevelt was everybody. That's all.
Okay. All right. Frankie Cruz, I want to thank you for coming. Let me get your hand there. Okay. And we're going to wish you good luck, the best of luck. Hang on one second. We haven't broken the huddle yet, okay? But what we're going to do is now we'll step aside here and take a quick break and bring in our third player. We're moving right down the line here on the spotlight on Roosevelt High School, the Rough Riders, as they get ready for 2019. This is the East LA Sports Scene. And welcome back now as we move into our third segment here, our third player. We've already spoken with head coach Aldo Parada. We're coming back to him at the outro, but we wanted to make sure we have the student athletes, the players up close and personal for our viewers. As again, we launch into a new project. We come pre-season with our schools. We're going to have, for your information, in 2 weeks we'll have Coach Hernandez with the Garfield Bulldogs, and hopefully we're going to bring in the Mendez Jaguars. We're asking for them, and Torres. We're asking all the schools in East LA because it's growing, and the competition, of course, at some point will get near it. It's almost not even, but possibly very competitive. We want to bring those schools in as well and talk about how football has really been a dominant sport in our community, and it's been done very, very good things based on the leadership by the coaches, the administrators, and of course the players themselves. So we turn now to Alfredo Sapulpa. Alfredo, how are you?
Good, and you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Okay. School is not officially in yet, Alfredo, right?
Not
but
yet.
you guys are busy. Talk about what you're doing now in the preseason.
Honestly, we're just preparing for next season and hopefully get to the championship again and win it this time.
You've had a taste at the top And it's a taste, as they say, that just doesn't go away after you've had a meal. You still hunger for it, and you build it back up. Talk about the new players. Talk about the system now that you're into it for the second year with Coach Parada. How are you doing with that?
It's been good. I just have to adapt to like the new offense, double wing, but the defense pretty good. I think we're stacked up on defense with upcoming players that had to step it up, and our offense is pretty good, but our line needs to improve, and we just need a couple of details that we need.
Okay. And, of course, you have been chosen by Coach Parada as a leader on his team based a lot on your character and what you do in the classroom. But on the field, big season last year. Go back to 2018. You had some big plays. And we called them on East LA Sports Scene's Game of the Week many times. Your thoughts on having performed at that level, and then how do you feel you'll be able to improve that?
My off-season been good, and I think I'll improve next year more than I did last year. I gotten used to more of the offense, and I've gotten better on defense.
Okay. And let's talk about how you're receiving the new players that have come up, I believe, from the JV and possibly some other kids or players that are in the system now at Roosevelt that we don't know yet, but now they're part of the team. Talk about how that chemistry is building now.
We're just trying to build it and build a bond that we just never had, and also trying to teach them like stuff that us 4-year varsity player has learned from the past.
Okay, and playing in the community, playing here in Boyle Heights for Roosevelt High School, you are a Rough Rider. And talk a little bit about the pride. I haven't been on that too much, but I know what it means to be a Rough Rider. I've talked to so many players and coaches that have been in the Roosevelt program, but you personally, how much has it meant to you as a young man?
It's great, you know, the community just come in and watch you and support you, whether you lose or you don't. They're just there no matter what.
Big turnout every week.
Yeah.
Coach, let's get a perspective here on this young player here. You're going to be calling his number on many occasions, but talk about the role he will play from day one.
Well, with Alfred, you know, he was a leader last season, and we expect even more from him this season. He's an incredible talent. He's a gifted kid. He really is a gifted kid. You know, he has a great football IQ. He knows where to go. Lots of times we'll ask him to run certain routes, and the way he runs them will be better than the way we designed them, just because he's able to change and adapt based on what he sees on the field. And that's on the offensive side. He's a tough kid. He's a smart kid. And on defense, I mean, he again, you know, if he were to pick up his arms, and you could see the range that he has, and he causes a lot of problems. You know, he's a really, really good ball player, and I know a lot of teams are going to struggle, you know, having to defend him and having to play against him. So we are definitely looking forward to getting the ball into his hands in a lot of different ways, not just throwing it to him, but even running it with him, and just, you know, making sure that he is on the field every time.
Yes, presence is very much felt by the opponent when they see number 23 on his jersey, Alfredo Sapulpa. Let's come back to Alfredo. Very quick question before we go into your profile, Alfredo. Where did you learn, or when did you know that you wanted to play football? Because many kids, of course, introduced to all sports: baseball, soccer, boxing. You know, we're sports crazy when it comes to picking up a sport. But talk about how it happened for you.
Growing up, I watched my brother play as a Rough Rider himself, and I just looked up to him, and I always wanted to be like him.
This is a generational at Roosevelt and Garfield, where families continue the tradition, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Was there anybody else besides your brother that played football or went to Roosevelt?
Nah, that'll be it.
Okay. Might it have been also you had part of the Wolfpack or Pop Warner?
Couple years.
Okay. Okay. All right. So that's also, as they say, a proving ground for the younger kids to come to Roosevelt.
Who'd you play for when you were a kid?
For you a bit, but then then I hurt. Yeah.
Okay. Now let's go now to your player profile, Alfredo, and we have you again here. You are a senior, okay, outside linebacker and a tight end, and we saw him make big plays on both sides of the ball there. Favorite class or subject?
English. I just like writing and expressing myself.
Okay. Sometimes those reports, you knock them out pretty quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Essays and other things that the teacher has in mind. Okay. Biggest highlight of your playing career?
Being in a journey towards the championship and
Okay.
participating in it with the
Okay.
team.
Yes. And that journey we speak of was the 2018 season. Okay. Educational career and educational and career goals.
I want to graduate college and major in business.
Okay. Any college in particular?
Honestly, any that give me an opportunity to be in.
Okay. Probably one that does produce the business folks, UCLA or who knows, maybe even small colleges, Occidental or schools that have programs that you may get a look
Yeah.
at a scholarship. Okay. Persons who've had the biggest impact.
My parents and my brother, because they always motivated me and pushed me through these seasons.
Okay. Mom and dad usually make all the home games?
Yeah.
I'd like to say road games, but that sometimes it gets difficult.
Yeah.
Did they all go at the same time?
Some.
Okay. All right. Now, favorites. Football teams?
I like the New England Patriots.
Any particular reason?
Just the winning tradition.
Okay. All right. Let me say the Super Bowl rings.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite college, favorite players?
I like Derwin James.
Okay. And he's a local?
Yeah.
Plays
from
for?
Chargers.
And what position?
Strong safety.
Okay. Because of his hitting or is just
He covers and
awareness?
pass rush is good.
Okay. All right. And favorite movies?
Boys in the Hood.
And favorite type of music?
Rap and hip hop.
Okay. And your favorite music artist?
Kodak Black.
Okay. All right. I think we've covered our third player, student athlete here, Alfredo Sapulpa, number 23 on his jersey. And it's his time to look out and see the people that are watching and give a message to them about 2019.
Just be ready for more and a better year for us. And we're coming harder than ever.
Okay. There you have it. Alfredo Sapulpa ready to go as Rough Rider. We'll be back with our fourth player in just a moment. This is East LA Sports Scene. Okay, in the number 4 spot, Mark Carrillo. It's a good spot to be because he knows we're almost at the end of the players segment here. They've done very well along with their head coach, Aldo Parada. We, again, want to thank Coach Parada for bringing not only himself, but the players that are here that we're speaking to, and you are now getting the chance to meet and greet them up close and personal. And Mark, you are going to be returning to a big position here for Coach Parada. But before we go to 2019, talk about last year because you were huge in the system. Talk about the learning experience that you took from playing last year.
Last year was a great experience. We had a long season, much longer than I expected, and I'm really grateful for that.
No, of course.
It was a great season. I had a lot of learning experiences. I learned how to be a leader. I learned how to step up and take authority, and I also learned a whole new position.
Okay, and a very grinding season it was. It wasn't everybody was healthy the whole season. There were, of course, the nicks and the ticks, the sit-outs that you had, doctor's orders and not being able to play. But you were able to weather the storm, so to speak, because of the training, your physical presence, and your love for the game. Talk about how that kept you on the field each and every game that you went out and gave it 100%.
I remember in the summer last season, Coach Aldo had us in the gym, and we were putting in work in the gym because we couldn't work out on the field.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? We were working, and that's all that mattered because we got it done, and that really helped us to pursue and keep going throughout the season.
And as you felt your teammates were looking at you for leadership, you responded very, very quickly and very, very optimistically, I'm sure, for the good of the team. Most of the players now have had 1 year of you as the leader. Anything you're going to give them to in terms of expectation that they're going to have to rise up higher?
Not really necessarily expectations, however, maybe like a learning experience. I just hope that they're able to not necessarily fill in my shoes, but to be a leader of themselves.
Okay.
I believe that they could be leaders themselves and allow others to look up to them, and that would be satisfactory.
Okay, and very quickly, I know Coach has mentioned a new system, but when we say that, does the new equate also to both sides on offense and defense? So there's a new system that will be ordained into the defense, and you're going to be leading it.
Yeah.
Talk about your preparation for that, speaking with Coach one-on-one. You know, when you have a chance, he's going to talk to you a little bit
Yeah,
extra.
of course, yeah.
A little bit extra about what you're going to need to do
Yeah.
in this new system.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit how you will prepare for that with the other teammates.
You know what? I think that me and my teammates are already really close. However, I feel like we have trust for each other and we gain respect for each other. And I think that like over time, it's just the bond is gonna grow, and
Okay.
I feel like it'll just go up from there.
Okay, let's have. I'm going to ask Coach Parada a question about you, and same type of question, Coach. The joy of having a player like Mark on the squad.
Well, with Mark, it's pretty cool because I've had Mark since he was little. He played Wolfpack football for me.
Okay.
He actually played double wing football when he was a young kid.
Oh, my
And so, in addition to that, he comes from a great family. Both his mother and his father are friends of mine. His father and I went to high school. And Mark's just a great kid. He's one of those kids that you only have to say it once.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times you don't even have to say much because he knows if he made a mistake, he'll correct it. And
Mm-hmm.
he's just got a really good sense of the football game. He understands the game. He's been
Okay.
around it long enough. And so I think Mark's going to be very, very well prepared.
Okay, wonderful. And again, Coach, you just spoke about what I was trying to say to Mark is the IQ, the sport IQ that he has for the game is very, very infectious. That he can talk to others in your stead and for you say, look, this is what Coach needs us to do. Okay, Mark, let's come back here now. When did you start playing the game of football, and why did you decide that this might be a better path to go in terms of going to high school and playing sports?
Well, I started playing football when I was about 10 years old, 11 years old, and from the start, it's always been with Coach Aldo. I really appreciate like the role he's took for me and guiding me to be like a great young man, not only a football player but a great person, and I really appreciate that. And I think with football, it was a lot different. You know, I really liked baseball and basketball as well growing up.
Oh, okay.
And I played basketball for like 2 years in high school, my first 2 years.
Okay.
However, you know what? I just love the sport of football. It's always been my favorite.
At some point, one will dominate. Not that you don't like the others, but that's the one.
Yeah.
You know, each of us has that passion to continue playing. It's something that you're really good at. Now, Mark, let's go into your personal profile here, okay? And we have you here, of course, as a senior, and you are a tight end and a defensive end. And let's see, I couldn't read that part there.
Oh, I just meant like starting.
Okay, good. Starting, of course, in starting lineup. Favorite class or subject?
I really like biology. Just like the study of life and how organisms live and stuff is really fascinating to me. I'm really interested in that.
So that's what we might say in a broader picture of science.
Yeah,
In the field
science
of
as
science
well.
somewhere. Health
Yeah.
science, okay. Allied sciences. Okay, and biggest highlight of your playing career?
Just being able to be part of the championship team. Not only one, but two. I was also part of the championship volleyball team. We were runner-ups, but we made it. So
And that was this past season?
yeah, it was. this
Oh,
past
okay,
season.
so dual sport athlete and excelling at both. Academic or athletic awards received?
I did receive like an outstanding award. I received recognition for being the class 2020 vice president, and I just like feel appreciated that I was able to be appreciated for taking such a role.
Oh, wonderful. Congratulations. Educational and career goals?
I'd like to attend UC Santa Barbara this next year, my freshman year of college. However, we'll just see how that pans out. And I'd also like to pursue a career in the biomedical field.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. Favorite football teams?
Roosevelt football, of course.
Rough Rider football, okay. Wonderful. But if you had to choose a pro team?
The Rams, just because LA.
Okay. The Rams did come to Roosevelt last year. They played 60, so they're doing good in the community. Favorite college player or pro player?
He's from the Houston Texans, Jadavon Clowney. He's
Oh,
like what I
okay.
aspire to be. You know?
Oh, okay. Yes, very good choice there. Favorite movie?
Fast Times at Richmond High. It's a great movie.
Okay, and favorite type of music?
I like hip hop and rap.
Okay, and favorite music artists or movie actors?
I really like Travis Scott. He's really nice. I could just vibe out to him.
Okay. There, you've heard it right there from Mark Carrillo. We hope we've given you a little snapshot on his personal profile, and we thank all the players for doing that. But, Mark, your turn to give your forecast for 2019 as a Rough Rider.
Last year, 2018, It was kind of a rough year. You know, we did come up a little bit short, but this year's a new year. We're coming for it all.
Okay. You've heard it right there from our fourth Roosevelt Rough Rider, and that will complete this segment. We're going to come back with our final player here for the player segment on East LA Sports Team's presentation of high school football preview, spotlight on the Roosevelt Rough Riders from Boyle Heights, California. We'll be right back. And welcome back. Here is our fifth and final student athlete here. He's a Roosevelt Rough Rider, and he is going to have a very big year because last year was his proving year, and of course he passed with flying colors. And we're speaking to Alek Rojas. And Alek, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Very good, very good. Excited about football. It's in the air. You guys are playing it. We feel it. There's, of course, people in the broadcasting and, of course, sports coverage aspect. But we're excited because last season for you guys was a tremendous for us, it was a good time to speak about a school that had some rough times but came out in the end achieving what they set out to do. We really, really commend you guys, of course, and Coach Parada and the coaching staff. But you played a big part. Talk about last year, 2018, and what you're looking forward to in 2019.
So 2018, my junior season in high school, I started a little bit late. Obviously, you didn't cast all the games, but you did catch me on some.
Yeah.
And that was a little bit later in the season. But the impact I had, I felt, was a pretty big impact because our D-line wasn't really set before I came in. And I feel like I really just set it in place and set it in motion.
Okay.
Along with the defense.
And that's big. That's big because you saw the need and you filled the gap, so to speak. And that's always a big characteristic of a strong player.
Yes,
And in the off season, what might you have been doing? Some lifting, maybe, and conditioning.
Lifting, some footwork, just in and out of the weight room as much as I possibly could.
Okay.
Along with trying to keep up scholastics.
And let's talk about, if we can, without naming any names, but just give us the environment of the weight room. Is there competition within the competition? Are linemen lifting and competing with running backs or quarterbacks?
Yeah,
or?
obviously. There's a big competition. Frankie Cruz is a big
Okay.
Yeah, big name in the weight room.
He's one of the biggest lifters on the
I would
team.
say.
Okay. All right. And then let's talk a little bit about your academics from last season. You're going to have to continue on.
Yes, sir.
And are the courses changing a little bit at Roosevelt? Because I understand it's starting to spread like the Torres is, where you have academies, or is the curriculum more student athlete friendly now? Can you say that, or you just pick what you want to do?
I think it's just you pick, and I think based off of what you need, they'll pick for you. But I think as long as you're not lazy, you should be able to get everything done.
Okay. And, of course, you do get the help, like in the extra, is it the study hall?
Yeah, study hall.
Okay. Big moments last year. Talk about those.
Big
For you as a player in a game. Was it a pivotal play or a game-changing play?
That's tough. I wouldn't necessarily say it's game-changing or pivotal, but in Classic last year, the D-line kept their stature throughout the game, and I think that was a big push, not only for this year, but for last year's Classic as well.
Okay. All right. For Coach Parada, same thing, Coach. Weigh in for the additives and the assets that Alek brings.
Oh, wow. Alex is, Alex is a great kid. He's got a great personality. He's got great character. He's a hard worker, and he's a leader. He's a natural leader. He's likable. Everyone likes Alek, and there's a lot of reasons to like him. He's just got his head on. He's got his head on straight. He does his job. He does his job, and he doesn't complain. And I appreciate that about him. Most kids will, give you a look or whatever, but this guy doesn't. He just does what he's asked to do, and he does it to the best of his ability. I've been fortunate to know Alek. Kind of like Mark. I've known him since he was little. He played for us as well in Boyle Heights Wolfpack, and so he also was familiar with the double wing.
Okay,
and so we're excited for him. We're gonna, because he's a senior and because he's a leader, we're gonna expand his role.
Okay.
And so, in addition to being a D lineman, we expect him to help us out at fullback.
Oh,
He's got some big shoes to fill. His
Yes.
his friend AJ, who also happens to be my son.
AJ Parada, yes.
But I think that Alek and Ruben Castillo, Soria. I mean, we got a bunch of guys in there that I think can do it. But we're really hoping that Alek does fill the role that we plan for him.
Okay. And Alek, we're going to really have to watch you on both sides of the ball because I do know that the points that were against the Riders were very low. When you look at the defensive points given up, very, very good in terms of the defensive play, and you were part of that.
Yes.
Will you be looking at that statistic to some degree to keep you motivated?
Definitely. I think that the defense that we have this year, although some new faces and some changes, I feel like we will keep that same type of defense.
Okay.
I have some big role models to look up to, that being ones that I played with last year, being AJ and Santos, and
Okay.
some that played at Roosevelt a long time ago, like my uncle, Mario Campos,
Okay.
and then my cousins as well.
Okay.
But,
Yeah, two quick things, Coach, because the statistics don't lie. The points for, very good. Points against, 277, very low. Very low compared to. But you spoke about the generational tradition in families. What year did you said your uncle?
2004.
2004.
His
Okay.
graduation.
I remember the name. Did he play defense as well?
He played middle linebacker. Yes.
Okay. All right. Is he doing well?
And some
Oh,
college.
okay.
Same with my cousin Christian Campos and
Christian. Now that's the name we used to cover some of the games there. Okay. Wow, Alek, we're going to go to your personal profile here and kind of wrap things up for our player segment. But let's go for your favorite class and subject.
my favorite subject would definitely have to be math. Not very likable to some people, but to me it's
Well, math is good. It's an indicator of how your thought process can really take you far. Okay, biggest highlight of your playing career?
again, it's like what all of my teammates said, going to the championship, just
Okay.
as a brotherly.
All right. Educational and career goals?
Educational goals, possibly receiving a master's from a D1 school, not just for sports,
Okay.
but I would like to go off a scholastic
Okay.
or athletic scholarship.
Okay. All right. And persons who've had the biggest impact on your young life so far?
Well, yeah, my mom, my grandma, and my uncle that I just mentioned.
Okay. Now let's go to your favorites in football, teams, or college or pro.
USC, local,
Okay.
big favorite for everybody. And,
Okay.
Pro, Baltimore Ravens. It's a little odd, but
Okay. Yeah, well, they've been to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They're big. Favorite colleges, players, excuse me, college or pro?
I would say throughout history, just all time, it would have to be John Randall or Ray Lewis.
Okay.
But currently in the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
I think Saquon Barkley as well.
Okay. All right. All right. Some good names there. And your favorite movie or movies?
Any Given Sunday.
That's a good
or
one.
The Program.
All right. Okay. And your favorite type of music?
Hip hop.
And favorite music artists or movie actors?
Travis Scott or Polo G.
Okay. There you are. That's going to end our personal profile. And the last question for our movement here for Alek Rojas will be looking into the camera and giving your forecast for 2019.
The defense isn't going to allow a lot of points this year, and the offense is going to put up some big numbers. So get ready.
Okay, that will do it for now. Our players segment here. We're going to come back really in a moment here with head coach Aldo Parada and wrap things up for this edition of East LA Sports Scene's coverage of high school football. We want to thank Alek Rojas
Thank you,
for
sir.
taking the time and being here in person. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, that'll do it. We're going to come right back. Quick break and don't go away. East LA Sports Scene. Okay, we're going to have our outro in just a moment, but you know what, Coach? We got into football so quick, we forgot to show the other side of Aldo Parada when he's not coaching. And,
Yes.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about your your markers here, your educational profile, just like we did for the players, and
Sure.
talk a little bit about that. We'll go right through that.
Winter Roosevelt, graduated in 1988. Was lucky enough to go to Whittier College. They needed a poor Mexican kid, and that was me.
Okay.
Graduated in 92. And then I was able to get my master's degree in education through Cal State Dominguez Hills.
Ah, wonderful. Okay, and let's see here. Professional career and occupations, position. We mentioned
Teacher.
a few.
Yeah, I've been a teacher for going on my 27th year. And in my previous life, my wife and I used to own a cake shop called Pasteleria Tres Leches. No longer in business.
Okay.
But it was a interesting experience.
Okay. Major achievements or awards.
Wow, I would say still being married.
Okay.
That's an achievement.
Yes, it is.
Having a wonderful son. He's in college now. That's my son, AJ.
Okay.
And my daughter, she's doing really well in school. She's a 10th grader at Roosevelt. Both
Okay.
of them went to Roosevelt.
Nice.
So I'm proud of the fact that that I have a great family and paid off my house. So I'm happy
wonderful.
about that. And what else did I put? I don't remember what the other thing I put
Let's
in
see
there.
here. Yeah, you got most of them.
And I'm
Okay.
still alive. Yeah. I'm still alive.
Okay, and then persons who've had the biggest impact on you.
Wow, my mother. My mother was huge. My brother Genaro, my brother Bobby, both of them. They were just great people. My wife, obviously, she keeps me straight. There's times I want to go off, but she does a good job of keeping me straight and narrow.
Okay, and let's see some of the favorite categories. This is what
Sure.
everyone wants to hear a little bit about the guests we have. But favorite teams, college or pro?
Well, I like USC, obviously, because they're the local team, and
Mm-hmm.
more importantly, because it's running back U. And I'd like to
Yes.
think that we're trying to create that here, running back high school.
Very good. Okay, favorite players?
Favorite players, I would say Dan Marino. Love
Okay.
Dan Marino. I know it's weird that I love running the ball, but Dan Marino was an awesome player that I always admired, and I followed him since he was at Pitt,
Yeah.
and then he made his way to the NFL.
He sure made his mark, of course. Hall
Yes.
of Fame. All right. Let's see. Favorite movies?
One of the movies that Mark liked was Fast Time at Ridgemont High,
Mm-hmm.
but I think all time has to be Bull Durham.
Oh,
Love
okay.
Bull Durham. Minor
Yeah.
League Baseball.
Okay. Favorite music, books, authors?
Tom Clancy. Let's see. Movies. I'm not really a movie guy. I'm mostly a documentary guy.
Okay. And possibly here, do we have the old Cha-Cha Disco?
Oh, Cha-Cha Disco too.
Yeah,
All the
okay.
Cha-Cha Disco.
All
Teasing
right.
the Hair and Forbidden Lover,
Oh,
all
boy.
that stuff.
Okay, and winding things up, favorite music artists or actors?
Well, I love Jose Alfredo Jimenez. I love Antonio Aguilar, Ramon Ayala, Lalo Mora,
Wow.
all the guys that make you want to drink on a Friday night
Oh.
after a good win or a bad loss.
Okay, and the family members that you want to
Wow.
highlight?
My wife Norma, my son AJ, and my daughter Melissa. Love them. I've been blessed to have a beautiful family, and I think I want to rechange my answer. Although I love Dan Marino, my favorite player. I couldn't say it last year, but I could say it this year. AJ Perel.
There you go.
Definitely my favorite player.
All right, and he's going to?
Cal State LA.
There you
He's
go.
going to be a sophomore
Okay.
now.
All right, now we're going to ask our players to come right in. Just float in, guys. As I mentioned, just come on back. This is where we'll sign off on this program here. It's a very, very historic program. It's the first time we've done a preview of high school sports
Thank you,
in
Rico.
East LA. So starting it off with the Roosevelt Rough Riders in their own backyard here at the Boyle Heights Technology Youth Center and the Workforce Center. So that'll do it for this edition. Thank you, of course, to Eric Sarney doing all of our camera work and production, and of course the team led by head coach Aldo Paral, Mark Carrillo, Alek Rojas, Frankie Cruz, Andres Flores, and who am I looking over to?
Alfredo Sapulpa.
Alfredo Sapulpa. Sorry, I couldn't turn the whole head around, but everybody is now fully identified and fully known to our viewers here on East LA Sports Scene. Again, get ready for high school football, August the 23rd, the first game. It's a home game, Coach?
No, we're off to Canoga Park.
Okay, and then a home game.
Then we have
Game two.
Wilson at home.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's going to be another big game.
Yeah.
A rematch. Okay, so that'll do it. Thanks for watching, and remember, always get that workout in. You see, we have a lot of balls here, and they become team sports or individual sports. Whether you're a power runner, a walker, whatever it is for your health, make sure you do that, because if you stay healthy, you will be wealthy. We leave you with that thought, but more importantly, watch us on EastLASportsScene.com and then on all of our social media platforms, where it's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So
you, Rico.
go Rough Riders. We wish them the best as
Thank
they
you, Rico.
prepare now for a big season, and we'll be hopefully able to cover as many games as possible.
We hope so, Rico.
Okay, guys, what do we say for the Rough Rider yell or the Rough Rider? You just broke huddle. Or you just somebody lead it now. Somebody lead it.
Yeah, what's the one you want to do?
Okay.
The family one?
Okay.
Family.
Remember, you got viewers now.
Family on me, family on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Family.
Okay, there it is. That's our family from East LA Sports Scene and the Roosevelt Rough Riders. Take care, and we'll see you on our next edition of East LA Sports Scene.